My name is Rico Neely. I am a student at Monroe College, New Rochelle campus. I study hospitality management and culinary art, and I love it. I came from the Bahamas. I got a scholarship from the Bahamian government. So far, my experience at Monroe College is really amazing. Everyone is treated with the same level of respect, and I really love it here. The chefs here, they're really charismatic, they're funny, they're understanding. They'll make a 5-hour class feel like 30 minutes. Coming to Monroe, I really didn't know it was going to be this much international students because there are students from Dubai, China, Bahamas. I mean, coming from a high school where there are mainly Bahamians to being placed in this melting pot where you have all these different cultures. It really is an eye-opener. I have a full schedule all week, and I look forward to my 2 lab classes in the lab because it's like my home away from home. So when I'm homesick, I feel at home because everyone is one big family here.
Welcome once again to Church Alive Development Corporation and Church Alive Community Church. And we're here to bring you a holistic approach to the needs of the issues and people of our community. We know that a lot of people are going through a lot of fear and anxiety because of what's coming out of Washington. But we know that God is still in control. No matter what happens, you can trust God, that everything will work out all right. And we trust that if there's any issues or problems that you have, Church Alive is there for you, especially with the immigrants. And we have been serving the immigrant population and communities, because it's more than just a population, for the over 20 some odd years. And we want you to know that if there's any advice or any kind of information you want, accurate information, that's very important, then we want you to call our office. The telephone number is coming up on the screen, and we'll do our best to assist you. Well, we have a very special guest, and he's special because this is the second time he's been on our program. And the first time he was on, he was the vice president of Monroe College, but this time he is now the president of Monroe College. Welcome to Church Alive.
Thank you, Reverend.
Well, it's hard to know where to start because so many things we discussed when you were vice president and now you're president. You really must be caught into 2 different worlds at this time. Tell us how it feels to be the president now of Monroe College.
Well, the first thing is it's humbling. Right. It's really an honor to take over an institution founded 83 years ago by my grandfather and great aunt, led by my father for 50 years, and I'm blessed to be the 3rd generation to take over the presidency. Right. What that means is we have great continuity in the Bronx, great commitment in the Bronx, and really it's where my heart lies. I'm blessed to wake up every morning, come to Jerome Avenue in my shorts and t-shirt, run up Jerome Avenue, take a left on Kingsbridge, run around the Jerome Avenue Reservoir, and come back and start my day like that every day. And it's really nice to be just part of the Bronx like that.
Well, it's not just part of the Bronx, because you also can pack your bag and your shorts and get on a plane when we're all frustrated here with the snow and how cold it is, and take off to another part of Monroe College. Tell us the total expansion of Monroe College.
So the Reverend is referring to our campus in St. Lucia, where I was at last week, and I was snowed in there last week. Right. My flights were canceled. I would say to your viewers, there's worse places to be snowed in than in St. Lucia. Right. We have a lovely campus in New Rochelle, and we have actually a new and growing campus in Flushing, Queens. So 4 campuses serving about 7,000 or 8,000 students every year, but the college's heart and soul started in the Bronx. And for me, it's a pleasure to return, and I'm undertaking a lot of initiatives to really help the people of the Bronx.
Well, there was one specific initiative that we discussed, and that is working with the faith-based organizations. And thanks to Paul Reed, who's really been a quality representative for Monroe College.
Yes.
He knows how to work with the pastors, and as a result of that, we have a number of great testimonies.
Good.
But we talked about scholarships.
Yes.
And want to go back to that, and then we're going to talk about new initiatives.
Yeah.
The scholarship program and the outreach to the faith-based church organizations, has been very successful. Yes. I believe we have over 30 people now enrolled as a result of your last television show, your commitment, and you've kept them. You've kept it, and we want to thank God for that. Yes.
So there's two things to it. Number one, with how uncertain the world is and the country is, right now there's a reversion to the personal.
Right.
People want to know someone and talk to someone, and so when we were blessed to be able to hire someone like Paul Reed, who was both warm, personable, and knows how to speak to the faith-based constituency, I think it really opened up a world of opportunity for people that wanted to go to college, but number one, they weren't sure it was right for them, and number two, they weren't sure they could afford it. So as the president, we helped commit funds for scholarship for those students, and Paul is working with your colleagues on giving those scholarships out, and that has been a great success. But a lot of adults are nervous about going back to college, either because they're worried about math or they're worried about homework, or maybe more importantly, they're worried about their pocketbook. So our scholarships have been very helpful with that, making sure it's affordable and that people can afford it. The second thing I'm doing, which I started a year ago, right before I took the presidency over, is I made a decision to visit every single high school in the Bronx. That was before I knew it was 130.
Right.
So for your members and the viewers, it used to be there was one building, 3,000 students, one principal, one assistant principal. Now each of those huge buildings has been broken down to between 4 and 8 high schools, and high schools share a floor, they share a building, and then they share sports teams. So I started a year ago, and what I realized was a couple things. Number one, the principals in our Bronx high schools are excellent. I started off at a school called Bronx Collegiate. I met a guidance counselor named Rukia White. I met a principal named, Rukia Shannon. I met a principal by the name of Daryl White. They were smart, they were committed, and I was really happy to partner with them. And that school, I ended up offering all the graduates, the college offered, a full scholarship if they were accepted.
Right.
And 10 students took us up on the offer, and that led for us meeting a whole bunch of other high schools, and there's just about 20 high schools in the Bronx who are partnering with the college where their students now have access to a full scholarship where they won't take any student loans and they won't have to make any payments.
Yeah, that is tremendous, and it lets the students know that they can look forward to college.
Yes.
Because a lot of students, after they come out of high school, they figure, well, I can't make it, it's too expensive, they don't even think about it.
Right.
So, and now I'm just looking for a job, but I have no skills.
Absolutely.
And so we have them heading to McDonald's. Nothing against that, nothing against the Wendy's or the Taco Bell, but the aspiration for them before they took that job was greater.
Yes.
Monroe College opens up the opportunity for them to dream again.
Absolutely.
And to begin to say, I can do certain things. One of the courses that's helped a lot that I have a response from is that the nurses training program. Because we have a lot of Caribbeans.
Yes.
And this is a job that they love to do.
Yes.
And tell us about that.
So first thing, it's not just the Caribbean students. The demand for health-related degrees is huge overall. And as you know, the Bronx is home to some of the best and most successful hospitals and medical facilities. You really can't go more than 2 blocks without hitting a hospital. So we have a range of programs from LPN, which is 1 year, registered nurse, which is 2 years, bachelor nursing, which then takes 3 years, and to medical assisting, to public health. Those students may travel to Haiti to do a service project, but the thing about those programs is generally employment is almost guaranteed. And I think the most recent data I saw on nursing graduates is about $70,000 in their first 2 to 3 years out of school. That's how good the jobs are.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
On the flip side, they're very competitive to get admission to. There are more applicants than there are spots for. And so, if you're a serious student, apply and look at all the different programs. And that is one field, even when the economy goes down, for some reason, there still seem to be a lot of sick people. The hospitals are busy and employment is good.
Exactly. Then it's private duty as well, because
Absolutely.
we'll have a population that's living longer.
Yes.
And so as a result of that, their needs are continuously growing.
Yes.
Okay, they're involved, they're engaged, and then some of them have illnesses.
Absolutely.
And they need to be able to be cared for.
Yep.
And this is what Monroe College has been turning out students that care, students that want to go back and as they say, heal the wounded, okay, and those who are suffering, okay.
And that's we call that elder care.
Elder care.
Yes.
All right, good. Okay, I was pretty close.
Pretty close.
Now, the other area that I want to talk about is the athletic area. Monroe College is now a competitive basketball program. Tell us a little bit about it.
So our athletic program started well over 20 years ago, and eventually we moved up to the Division I NJCAA League, which allowed us to give full scholarships and attract really the top talent in the country and in the world. And our philosophy was from the beginning, if we hire the best coaches, pay them well, they will bring in a team and train that team and have loyalty. And we've really stuck with that. Some colleges have mostly part-time coaches. We really have a full-time teaching coaching staff that, in addition to the team, also teaches character, public service. All of our teams have to do public service. And for me, as the president, it's as important the character of the team as the winning percentage. But if you go to watch the New York Knicks play, you will see he's not 1 through 5, but he's like number 7 or 8. His name is Maurice Ndour. Came from Africa and Japan, played for us, and is now on the Knicks.
That's right.
And he's doing very well. All the largest universities in the country, soccer players, baseball players, football players. We have a man who threw discus, who is now being recruited for the NFL.
Right.
And, you know, we have, especially in the Bronx, tremendous amount of baseball players, 90-mile-an-hour fastball throwers from the Dominican Republic, from Puerto Rico.
Right.
Bronx has a lot of aspiring baseball players for many reasons. And we just started a second tier of the athletic program in the Bronx campus, where we'll play in the City University League. And we expect to be very competitive. And that allows athletes who are one level below the most elite to still compete and play at a very competitive level. And it's going to be about 800 athletes on campus. They're proud, they have good character, they generally do very well academically, and they're really, for me, a pleasure to have on campus.
Well, I went to New Rochelle, and you got a state-of-the-art basketball arena. I would call it. It's not just a gymnasium. It's an arena. And to many of our young people who want to stay home, they don't want to go too far. They want to be able to, let their talents grow, at the same time get a good education, and then be able to work and stay right where they are living and within the area. But you have done a marvelous job in making that basketball arena, which is more, I think it's soccer there too, am I correct?
They do running there, they do volleyball there, they do soccer, they do basketball. It holds, a couple thousand people. It's got the very high ceiling, and it's an impressive place to watch sports. But your viewers should know, one of the things that I pride myself on is that when students from New York City come to Monroe College, they get the benefit of all of our campuses. And even if they commute, we try to give an out of New York City experience. So I always lead hiking on the Palisades in New Jersey, or there's a study abroad in Italy, or we're taking students to restaurants in New York City, or we're doing club activities upstate New York. So the thing people should realize is, just because you commute and you're commuting from home doesn't mean you really can't have a wonderful out of New York experience and try lots of things.
Well, we have an immigration issue that we're dealing with, and we have many immigrants here. Many of them are now part of the DREAM Act, okay? And they now can consider college. And what is Monroe's welcome to the immigrants?
Well, the first thing is, from the beginning of our history, we're one of the most diverse welcoming, inclusive institutions in the whole country.
Right.
You cannot walk in our buildings without getting that feeling from security to cafeteria to the faculty to the president. And it's one of the hallmarks of the college is just how diverse we are. But many colleges have a diverse student body. We have one of the most diverse faculty and staffs in the entire country. And so students always say, I feel really supported at Monroe because I can relate to my faculty and I feel like they relate to me. We also have about 1,200 foreign students. They view themselves rightly as the most affected by the travel ban. And actually, next week, I'm having my first what we call fireside chat with all interested students about our approach. And what I've tried to do is not do so much speaking about it, but really take action. And in this case, what our students should always know is we welcome them, we support them, and no matter what, we are behind them 100% of the time, no matter what happens. I'm not sure anyone is certain what's going to happen with the policy.
Right.
And so you do have to have some caution as you give advice so that you're accurate.
Exactly.
And I'm an attorney by training, so I always like to make sure any advice we give is accurate and helpful. But the bottom line is we've always been one of the most diverse, welcoming of immigrant institutions, including undocumented students, really in the whole area.
Well, one of the main things is what you're doing is having meetings with them.
Absolutely.
Because there's a scripture that says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And a lot of people are fearful when they have no reason to be fearful.
Yes.
Or they are fearful because they're getting different kinds of propaganda.
Yes.
And when they can relax, and the only way they can is somebody has to be willing to bring them in and sit them down and talk with them. Because no news is usually bad news.
Absolutely.
And that causes them to panic.
Yeah.
We know that you have a lot of students that come in to Monroe College who are immigrants.
Absolutely.
On the K visa.
Yeah, the F1 visa.
F1 rather. So now, do you assist the individuals to go through the process?
Absolutely. So
on the F1, correct.
yeah, we have a really large international office, very qualified people, and we're known internationally for having a high quality process where students are advised, they're given counseling, so that when they go to the embassy, they're approved, and we have a very high visa approval rate. But that still doesn't mean people aren't nervous. We had at least a few students directly affected by the original travel ban. They were from the countries that were on the list.
Right.
But we reached out to them right away, got hold of them, gave them the proper advice, and told them no matter what, we would support you. And that would mean if they felt uncomfortable flying home, we would have to offer them housing, maybe for a longer period of time, because honestly, it definitely could be scary for students who really don't know what to expect and are unsure of their ability to travel.
I think the key word you said just now goes a long way. We will support you.
Absolutely.
And I think that is what the immigrant student is looking to hear, those words, we will support you.
Yes.
Because what they're hearing out there, even the government is not even providing support for them. Yeah. And we're driving people into a lot of psychological issues.
Absolutely.
And we're going to create a monster of problems, medical problems that they haven't even looked to as to what's going on in the minds of folk.
Yeah, because as you said, what we hear is a lot of students who really are not affected by the proposal have fear. And I thank you for giving the statement, because that's basically my philosophy. We will support you. You are our students. We are here for you. And that will be my message when I speak to the students. And doing it personally, I think, is important.
Well, we have a partnership in that area because Church Alive Development Corporation, we have immigration service now over 25 years. So therefore, if there is a student and a family that's according to this, or they want to now start their paperwork. And I'm telling everybody, whatever you do some paperwork, file for something, don't put it off. Our office is there as a partnership, to send them. And we will support them, and we will bring them close to God, who makes the difference.
Good, I like that.
Yeah. So we are looking at you now as the president of Monroe College.
Yes.
And the Word of God said, without a vision, anything will perish.
Yes.
What is your vision for Monroe College?
So, number one, I want to have an impact on the Bronx.
Right.
It is a wonderful borough. I'm a runner. People know me as being a runner, so I get to run the Bronx and see it. But overall, our outcomes for high school students are too low.
Right.
Not enough students are graduating high school, and not enough are going to college who graduate. And then those who go to college, not enough are finishing. So we believe we're the largest educator of students from the Bronx anywhere. And I'm looking through something called a presidential partnership program to make college more affordable, to help motivate students to graduate from high school. And whatever the percentage that's graduating now, I'd like to see in 5 years it's increased, partly because of the initiatives that we have initiated. And it's a big thing, but I have to say to you, if you visit a principal in a typical Bronx high school, they have so many challenges. And they have pressure from the city, pressure from the state, and at the end of the day, the kids can really use some help. And so you should know, in addition to helping them financially, we're putting together a program where they'll be surrounded by support, broken down to small cohorts, and assigned a mentor, almost a success mentor.
Right.
And I'm hoping that will have a huge impact. My second goal is what Paul is working on with you, focusing on adults, whether it's faith-based or working adults or people who work in hospitals. But the percentage of people going to college has actually decreased a little bit, especially of modest income.
Right.
So I'm looking to help increase that number of students going to college and making sure they graduate. And again, I think you have to do it boots on the ground.
Right.
So that's why when I first became president, people said to me, you have to stop going to the high schools. It's not that presidential.
Right.
And I said, you know something? I thought about it for about 2 seconds.
Okay.
That was about it.
I was giving you a minute. But
Yeah,
go
not
ahead.
even a minute. I said, you know what? I'm going to keep going to the high schools because I
Yes.
like it.
Yes.
People who know me, I have 3 daughters.
Yes.
My daughters are a junior in college, a freshman in college,
Sure.
and a 7th grader.
Yeah.
But the high school kids are about my kids' age.
Right.
So I enjoy seeing them. I enjoy talking to them. And I feel like that I'm and we are having an impact.
Well, I think it's needed now. I need the clergy is finding out that it's important now that we come out of the pulpit, come
Yes.
out of our churches, and we've
go into
got to
community.
identify with the community.
Right.
Just preaching from a distance, coming out and being with them. But a lot of clergy are finding Monroe to be very helpful because they now have to. They have news studies. They now have to deal with psychological issues. They need social issues.
Right.
And they are looking to get retooled.
Yes.
We'll have to be retooled because the community needs are different than just coming to church and saying amen, praise the Lord. But when they leave church, they are faced with real situations, but they're not trained. And that's where Monroe College has really been a blessing. And I'm getting it from the pastors and the ministers who are in the school, that the courses they're taking, empowering them now, they feel stronger, that they can now handle issues and not have to refer them to Dr. Birkett.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And it takes a load off of me
Yes.
because in many cases we're overrun
Yes.
with Birkett this and Birkett that and Church Alive this. And now they can now handle those things that they were making referrals to me. We're down to just a few minutes of this very, very important second segment. And I want to give you a chance to say something into the public as now the president of Monroe College so that they will have something to remember when this program goes off.
Good. Well, for 83 years, the college has served the Bronx community, and it's really a blessing for me to be able to be the new president and to do it with such love and such affection and really hoping that we can impact the Bronx and impact the whole entire community. I look forward to speaking to you, to meeting you, and if you ever have any questions, the college has a wonderful staff and faculty that are just very helpful. That is our culture, personal, helpful, trying to offer the skills needed to the community, keeping it affordable, and you know what? That's what makes it so great for me to wake up every day, come to a job that I really love, and really have a chance to help people. I assume you feel the same way.
No question about it. And so many of them out there, I know we're saying, well, are they really giving out scholarships? Is it really helping out? Now you know that what you heard and what you saw in the first interview is a reality. It's happening. And so make the phone call, get the counseling you need, find out, what it takes to, to further your education or to strengthen the very job that you have and to be able to move forward. And to every young person out there and to every immigrant that's out there, the sky is still a limit, all right? Donald Trump does not have a limit on your success. God is the only one that can determine your present, and is the only one that will determine your future. So God bless you, and we thank you so much for allowing Church Alive to come into your homes. And we want you to know you can support this ministry in so many ways. We have a food pantry. We just opened up a mission where we're giving away clothing, and the mission is loaded with people donating new clothing, used clothing, and if you have, but it's got to be new, or clean, used clothing, and you bring it into our mission, and we turn it around and make it available to the community. And so we're here, and we're partnered with Monroe College, and we'll continue to meet your needs. God bless you. Until next time, we love you with the love of the Lord.
My name is Natalie Waldschmidt. I am from Germany, and I'm in my second to last semester at Monroe College. When I first started at Monroe, I didn't feel comfortable talking at all. I thought that my English wasn't good enough, but because of Monroe, it really challenged me to talk and really say my opinion and say what I think. But now, I actually like communicating with people. I like to state my opinion, and I learned so much, and I think I've grown so much during my time at Monroe College. My favorite Monroe experience was when I received the Student of the Year award last year in Seattle, which is an award that is distributed to students who really excel in their honors programs on their home campus. It's a national organization, and I think it really shows that a small honors program that we have in Monroe can really stand out on a national level. I'm very involved in the marketing club. We have weekly meetings there where we all get together and we talk about important things that goes on in the marketing world. We talk about our own experiences. I have also done my internship in the marketing department for a company, and the marketing club as a whole really helped me to get that internship there. I have been working at the Academic Center for 1 year now as an English mentor. I think this is an incredible experience, not only for the students who work there and are able to help other students with their classes, it's also a great opportunity for students who are struggling with their classes to really grow, and we are part of this. I'm very happy that I chose to attend Monroe. I had the opportunity to transfer to other schools. They offered me scholarships, but I always stayed at Monroe because I really love the general environment. It's really like a big family. Monroe has become a second home to me. The community is exceptional. The support that we get is outstanding. I cannot think of a better college choice for me.